Welcome to another episode of the Free Speech Podcast. As ever, I'm Mr. Darius Davies. I'm joined by Mr. Hate Crime himself, Leo Kearse.
Hello.
The Beijing sensation, Mr. Nico Yearwood.
Woo!
Our producer extraordinaire and accompanied by special guest Zola, it's Mouch.
Good evening, good afternoon.
All right, guys, welcome to another episode. How's your week been? What's been happening in the world this week that we can talk about? Leo, anything took your fancy?
See, somebody's forgotten the topics already. Well, I can tell you what the topics are. We've got, there's a coronavirus lab leak theory. So Donald Trump came up with this theory that coronavirus was actually manufactured in a lab in Wuhan. And obviously was slammed as some sort of right-wing conspiracy theorist. And now it's come out that it might actually be true. Kevin Spacey's returning to our screens playing a disgraced paedophile or something, which I'm sure that's going to really stretch his acting abilities. What was the other thing? Oh, John Cena, or Cena, whatever he's called.
John Cena.
Wrestler. You probably know. John Cena has said, because obviously he's a film star, they make Fast and the Furious films. So the Fast and the Furious number 128 is out right now, and China's the biggest market for it. And he said that Taiwan was a country, and he's had to backtrack on his factual statement that Taiwan is a country, so he can sell the film in China, so China won't pull the film. It's like, imagine you had a film out in like 1930s Germany, and you referred to
The Jews as not the.
Yeah, and then he comes out and he says, "Oh no, actually no, I think concentration camps are great. Please, please keep spending money and watching this film." I don't know, man. I just think it'd be nice if how much money's John Cena got? Haven't you got enough money that you can recognise Taiwan as a legitimate country and just have some principles?
I think he would have been forced to backtrack.
Who's forcing John Cena? Who's going into a board meeting with John Cena, a professional wrestler, and going, "Listen, John, some tiny guy, like sitting under this towering Hulk, and going, you're going to need to apologize to the Chinese." Well, I think it's probably more
like if you want to be in Fast and Furious 1, 29, and 30, you gotta apologize. So that's what they're doing.
I mean, I don't blame him.
He's been enough. He's got enough money. He's got a big house. Surely at some point you're like, I want to be able to sleep at night. I don't want to throw the Taiwanese people under the bus by saying their country doesn't exist.
I kind of understand where he's coming from. China makes billionaires disappear. Like, it's not like it's okay, cool. I'm gonna lose this film opportunity. It's I may disappear because they've got.
But they only make Chinese billionaires disappear. They haven't made any non-Chinese billionaires disappear. But look, clearly this is a Harvey Weinstein moment. This is how Harvey Weinstein gets laid. It's because he has that power authority. So Harvey Weinstein equivalent has gone up to him and said, "You made a big mistake. Apologize profusely." The same way they did it to Disney, the same way they did it to LeBron and the NBA, because it's all about money, which shows there's no morals.
Yeah, I just can't feel that threatened by the Chinese government or whatever. I know they've had a huge military build up and they've got all this money and stuff, but I just don't feel threatened by people who've got smaller penises than me. And that goes for all of you as well. I don't feel threatened by any of you.
I've seen your penis. It was like Jamali Maddox.
Yeah,
in fact,
like
I can share a picture of Jamal. Hey, shall I share a picture of Leo's penis? I've got it on my laptop. Hold on, I'll find it.
What?
Why
have you got? This is revenge porn. I'm pretty sure this is revenge porn.
I thought you weren't threatened. I didn't think you were threatened. Imagine China probably has a picture. China definitely has a picture of your penis, and they're probably going to show it.
I'm threatened by my own penis, not the Chinese government's penis.
The CCP.
Here it is. Let me share screen.
No, of course. Oh, wait.
Let me share Chrome tab. Jamali Maddox.
It's going to get us taken down off of YouTube. So little time to find that.
Is not really, because it's so small. Nah, it's so small they won't be able to see.
There we go.
See that?
Oh my god! I managed to put it over Leo as well.
Robo Holland did a rap battle against Leo and asked me for a photo, and I sent him that. Leo, are you there?
I think I've managed to. Leo, come back.
Leo's like, fuck
Leo,
this.
we apologize. It's
No,
very
but like,
big.
you did the mute thing on me or something. So I couldn't even have a right to reply to my own penis. But that wasn't me. You couldn't see my fucking face.
That was top produced.
But it looks like it's got the same hairstyle as Jamali when Jamali used to have a high top.
Listen, right, what happened that night? So we went to, it was at Spank, you know that show in Edinburgh, the late night show.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting talking to Darius. Obviously, because I'm talking to Darius, my penis is inverted inside my body, and but they got this thing. They got this thing where like anybody can go up, naked promo they call it. Anybody can go up and promote their show, and like you just have to get naked and do it. And Darius I haven't been paying attention. Darius just turns around to me and says, "Oh, you can promote your show." And I'm like, "What?" And like Darius says, "Yeah, anybody can get up and promote their show." So I was like, "Fucking brilliant!" So I go up to promote my show. I had no idea that you had to get naked or anything. And they're like, I get to the stage and they're like, "Okay, take your clothes off." And I'm like, "What?" But I was there, so I had to just do it. So I took my clothes off. But the thing is, like, I'm a grower, not a shower. So if I had time to chuck it around a bit, you know what I mean? We could be looking at.
Listen, we've all been there. I'm not gonna throw shade. I'm just, you got balls to do it. There you go.
Yeah.
Justin Pank's got one of my favorite jokes about this. He said, "You know what women don't understand is that men have bad dick days. Like our dicks, they just fluctuate in size at any given time, and you don't know what you're gonna get. Like one day you look down, it's all shriveled up, it's all curled under your balls, it's tiny, looks like a prawn. And other days, you know, it's tiny as well. So you never know what you're gonna get."
And yeah, there is like apparently some dicks are just the size they are, and then they get hard, and like other dicks are small, and then they get, but it goes to the same like length.
I wonder what the science is behind that. What's the science behind like, cool, this is a grower dick. What's the biological makeup of that, and a shower dick, what's the biology? Is it because the blood capsules fill up more? I don't know.
It's probably
Well, no, because the turgid
the
dick
capillaries.
All right,
So,
Dr. Dick.
Explain it then. Scotland, people from cold countries, you don't want to have all that blood outside your body getting cold. You know what I mean? So your dick like shrivels. Shrivels is the wrong word. Retracts or whatever. You know, gets smaller.
I think shrivel works. I think kind of.
But it gets bigger as well. It gets tumescent.
It unshrivels.
And then it gets big.
I've seen a man.
Gorgeous.
There was a man pissing in a nightclub that I was in, and he's pissing and he goes, "I got the biggest dick in this room." he just shouts it out. He goes, "I got the biggest dick in this room, and nobody can say otherwise." And I look across, he was pissing. Fucking hell. The guy, he was holding his dick, and there was a loop going down and coming back up. so it was like, if I had a piece of rope, it was like he was holding it like that by the head, and then in here was going down and then coming back up. It was mental, mate.
Slack.
I was like, what?
What, isn't that normal? Isn't that normal, guys? That's normal for me. What color was he?
He was a black dude, but that was.
Oh, that's
like,
racist. That's
racist. More than he had to add more than like 16 inches.
I think there must be a point when it's too much.
Maybe when he gets a boner, it gets smaller.
Maybe when he gets a boner, he passes out.
There's another guy I saw at a beach in Barbados who literally used to throw his over his shoulder. No lie.
I mean, he must have like a really small torso. That can't be.
But they said he passes out when he gets hard.
Right.
Some of them can't get hard though. Apparently, when their dicks are that big, they can't. They never achieve like a proper boner.
Is this so they didn't get hard with you, Darius? Is that what happened?
No. That's what happened.
No.
It's not even funny. Why would you say such things?
This is some
you got to thumb it in. You got to thumb it in, or at least try and plunge it in. It's squirming all over the place.
Yeah.
Anyway, this podcast has descended into
some top political analysis here about Taiwan.
So Dominic Cummings,
like South Asian geopolitics extraordinaire. How did
it's because of you. I remember now. You racially stereotype Chinese people as having very small penises.
I'll go head to head with anybody in the Chinese government. I bet the entire Chinese government, I've got a bigger dick than them. That is just, that's nothing to do. And that's why they're all obsessed with fucking up Taiwan, military build-up, persecuting Uyghur Muslims.
We want this podcast to be big in China.
Man, you know what? I can't wait until we get
free speech people when I say we're gonna fuck you up, Chinese government, and that goes Nico Yearwood. I'll give you their addresses. No. Nico Yearwood, Darius Davies Mooch, Michaels.
We love China on this podcast. I can't wait until we
get cancelled by the chat.
Taiwan is not a country.
Fuck the Uyghurs.
I want the Chinese to cancel us, because when they cancel us, it means we've finally been successful. When the CCP come down on us, it's like we've achieved success. At the moment,
China apparently had help. There was this African building. There was this African Congress building or something that the Chinese built. I can't remember where in Africa it was built, but they helped build this this massive, like a political headquarters or center, and the Chinese built it. And then like 3-4 years later, they found out that the whole place was bugged. Like every single room was bugged and chipped and stuff. So all these meetings and that they held in that was being filtered back to China, and the servers were also hacked and left the back door for China to access whatever is on the servers. So Africa had to go back and put in their own servers and unchip everything. Mad.
Well, that's why we stopped Huawei throughout Europe and in America, right? That's why they're banned. Although, funnily enough, when I was in London, I saw some random Chinese woman just taking pictures of like this obscure building with like blacked out, like it was blatantly a government building, like no one has ever. And she was just there taking pictures, like, man, that is obviously a Chinese spy, because that's not like a tourist attraction. You not take pictures like close up or like that. I told Tyrone,
for art purposes.
No, it wasn't that type of. It's like, I'm taking a picture of a toilet for art. Even that would have more artistic merits. It wasn't. She was definitely a spy.
Funnily enough, when I was in Minsk,
am I fine if we need to get you on board, Darius?
I'll be good, man. I can smell them. I know. So why are you here? Why are you taking these pictures for? What's she taking pictures? She gonna blacked out.
I don't want to enforce another stereotype, but Asian people do like to take photos when on holiday. So,
what on your own? Just taking a picture of a window, like looking through the glass of it's not like this is a Harrods shop window with like some Christmas display. This is a boring, nondescript window on a boring, nondescript building in South London.
It could be for art purposes, though.
Yeah,
she could be like, I'm gonna go home and draw this.
Yeah, it was for the artistic purposes of spying on us, learning all my trade secrets.
But luckily, Agent Darius was there to intercept.
No, I just went and watched.
Imperceptible.
I did think it though. I did think that's a spy. And I was gonna grasp on her. Then I remembered I hate the police, so I didn't. Anyway. What else has been going on?
Talking of China, they've developed this sort of Minority Report style thing that predicts if people are guilty or not.
What?
Oh, really?
Yeah. So basically, they've installed software, like facial recognition software in police stations, that when Uyghur Muslims, it can detect if somebody's a Uyghur Muslim based on facial characteristics, but it can also detect emotions on the face. So then apparently guilty people display certain emotions. They can detect. This is what they reckon. They reckon they can detect guilt on the faces of people, so they can do away with all the hassle of having a fair trial in front of a jury. Not that like Uyghur Muslims get that in China anyway.
Wow, that's some crazy shit.
They've got social scores in China, right? So
yeah.
Have you? I've been to China, just like stopping through on the way to Bali or somewhere.
Yeah.
And it's mental. As soon as you get there, Google doesn't work, BBC doesn't work, Facebook doesn't load. None of those apps that you think you're like, I'm gonna check this. And also take your passport away. Even if you're just transferring through the country, they take your passport away from you.
You can use a VPN though.
Yeah, maybe. Probably you can, but still.
Yeah, there are ways of getting around it, but it is a bit mad that they don't really let anything through.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to ban TikTok because TikTok was owned by
who owns
China.
TikTok? I thought Microsoft was going to take it.
They were, but I don't think they did in the end.
They were going to split the company so that, there's Chinese TikTok and then American TikTok and stuff. But I'm not sure what happened with that. But with the Huawei stuff, because Huawei put in so many of the communications towers for 5G, but I think they're now removing them, aren't they?
Yeah, because they basically just chipped out the whole of the UK.
Yeah,
it's free speech on TikTok.
Not sure.
It will be once we eventually get round to making clips.
Let's put this episode up and see how long we stay up. Well, I don't know. I mean, it's a 60-second medium, so we need to just clip up some 60-second bits. But seeing as we can't even clip up a YouTube bit at the moment, I doubt we're going to be able to do it. I got a guy in to do the clips. Shout out Vittorio, and then he saved over all the clips with the same clip. So he's got to come in on Sunday and do it again.
He saved over all the clips.
So he did a few clips. And then he saved.
Sounds perfect.
He's got the right stuff for this podcast.
I know Vittorio. It's fine. He fell out with you, didn't he, Leo? He mugged you off.
No, only online. He was cyberbullying me.
Yeah, he's all right.
Yeah, he seems like a cool guy. To be honest, Nico, Leo is easy to cyberbully online.
I like Vittorio, except when he's cyberbullying me.
He just gives it back.
What were you fighting about?
I tweeted something. He was all like, "Oh, that's wrong." It's like, no, it's fucking not. So shut up.
Leo was doing one of his normally provocative, contrarian stances.
Speaking of them, should we pull up the first one of these that we've got?
Yeah.
We've got Leo pointing out.
We should do Leo's most controversial tweet of the week, the one which gets the most traction from now on, and then we should just see what it is and we agree with him or disagree.
Do we need the sound on this?
You can sort of tell what it is. Music. You know what they're going to be doing.
What?
I love this tune.
Look, there's so this is a Hamas press conference. They have a 4-year-old dresses as jihadi with an AK-47. It's a little one, so maybe it's an AK-21. But and that's the leader of Hamas in Gaza kissing, like trying to snog this child. So they're going fully woke. Hamas are going fully woke with the whole,
that kid looks so happy to be there. And don't get me wrong. Obviously pretty. Oh, he's fucking going for it.
Yeah,
he's like Joe Biden.
Yeah. Oh, is this how you succeed in politics? Literally sucking the fingers of children. Do you think that's a real gun?
No, I doubt it.
No.
The kid's like
too heavy.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be funny if the kid accidentally just fired it in the crowd. Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
I think it's a real gun. Them men ain't got no more guns up there. It's not loaded, that's all.
How do you...
the gun would be too heavy for the kid to pick up.
Yeah, it looks
Kid's
about...
not really holding it. The guy is actually...
That's not a kid, that's a dwarf.
Holding it on his shoulder.
That's a fundamentalist dwarf.
Yeah.
The guy is supporting his hand.
Where did you find that video from? Yeah.
People send me videos all the time, all kinds of videos. And I find the most inflammatory ones, and I tweet them.
I like I like this comment below. In defense, it's probably his wife.
It's funny because it's racist.
It is funny because it's racist.
Yeah, I was in the pro-Palestinian rally. I didn't mean to. I was going to Fortnum and Mason to buy some jasmine tea, but I got caught up in this pro-Palestinian rally. But it was a really oppressive atmosphere. I remember 10, 15 years ago, I went on the rallies to end the bombardment of Lebanon and end the siege of Gaza and stuff. That was in the last Intifada. So I was on the sort of protesting against Israel then, but now, man, these rallies, there's Nazi salutes. There's all this anti-Semitic stuff, horned devils and stuff as Jews. And there was a real sort of nasty atmosphere on the march. Even my girlfriend's half Muslim, and she found it she was like, whoa, this is too much.
Yeah, there was there was those cars that was shouting out some pretty horrific shit with the Palestinian flag on it. But again, there's going to be extremists in every sort of faction. It's just you just have to condemn it and move on.
Yeah, I saw a video with the Israeli police shooting this little girl yesterday. So there's madness on both sides.
Yeah, but
I mean,
in many ways,
she was saying some racist stuff though.
No, but
they weren't being racist. Don't forget that little girl deserved to be shot.
No,
How
but
dare that little girl?
No, I mean, I haven't seen that video, but it's probably a clip from RoboCop 2 or something. You know what I mean? There's so much bullshit put out as propaganda. Israel was attacked.
Have you seen the clips of the missiles dropping on schools and shit?
Yeah, RoboCop 2. That was RoboCop 3.
Hamas fucking have fired thousands of rockets. At Israel. They keep trying to wipe Israel off the 6-day war. They tried to wipe Israel off the map. So many times they tried to wipe Israel off the map. And it's just Israel's not going anywhere.
No, they are going. They are going somewhere. They're going into Palestine. That's the problem.
Yeah. Are you not Mooch? Are you not Lebanese?
If they win a fucking war,
Hold
Israel won
on.
the 6-day war. That man, you can't try and wipe a country out and then be like, oh wait a minute, they're
but then you can argue you can't just give away people's country just like that.
Yeah.
You can't.
I find this how come?
So you can argue it the other way as well. You can't just give people another people's country. So you can argue that as well. So
when Tommy Robinson says, "Oh, this is English land" or whatever, everybody's like, "Oh, you fucking sick scumbag racist." When all these woke people are like, "Oh, this is Palestinian land. Only Palestinians are live in this."
Well, we need to wind this back. What was Tommy Robinson said? This is English land about what? England?
Probably, yeah. I mean, people say he's a racist or whatever.
Well,
your argument makes no sense, Leo.
It does make a lot of sense. This whole thing of
should we get Vittorio? Let's get Vittorio on.
Let me have my point. The point is this: Nico made a valid point. Israel as a country was created where other people were already long established. That is the crux of this problem.
That's not
anyone who brings
true.
in
that is
Nico,
not true.
And the fact it's not true.
Leo.
Palestine is not true. Palestine wasn't there for millennia.
Look at the history.
1.5 million years.
Look at that.
1.5 million years. Palestine. Google it. Fucking what do you want?
That's bullshit. That's bullshit. It was
have a longer memory than when you were a right-wing comedian, Leo. Because I remember when you used to make fucking jokes and say, "Oh, I feel sorry for the Israelis because the Palestinian kids is chipping the paint on the tank." So have a fucking longer memory, Leo, than you're trying to be a right-wing. Have some fucking balls, right? The fact of the matter, Israel is there. Yes, Israel is there. Yes, to conflate this with Muslim versus Jew. That's not the problem. Is they don't the Palestinians are at war with Israel not because they're Jewish, but because they're colonized and there. Mooch is Lebanese, and right now, the Golan Heights, where Mooch's country's from, is occupied by fucking Israel. That's a fact on the ground. You're right wing, and all your right wing followers are racist, but what they don't understand is it's all fun and games.
Fuck off.
Yeah, they are racist. There's racist. You can tell.
You want to talk about fairness
because they just want to say they hate Muslims.
No, that's fucking bullshit. Nobody's even saying they hate Muslims. You know what I mean? All right. So there's 2.7 billion Muslims in the world, okay? The whole of the Middle East is like mostly Muslims.
This is such a stupid argument. That's like saying, why doesn't an English person live in Spain? They're Palestinian.
Listen. The whole of the Middle East is like mostly Muslim. You get Christians, you get Jews, you get Coptics, whatever else, like living in there. A lot of the time, they're persecuted, especially Jews. They're persecuted. You think Jews aren't persecuted in like Iran and all these other places?
No,
man. Oh, he's frozen. Thank fuck for that. Like, man, Jews are persecuted in all of these places, and like and all across the world. And there's not that many. Listen, just shut up for a minute. Just shut up for a minute.
One person at a time. One person.
After the Second World War.
You know, we ain't gonna solve this issue here. So
no, Nico. I think we can. Over a Zoom call. We'll get Palestine and Israel in, and we'll get this sorted.
After the Second World War, like the Jewish homeland, this shitty bit of sand next to the Mediterranean, they were like, you can have this tiny shitty little bit of sand, and the Jews went there and made a totally functioning democratic state with equal rights for women and all the rest of that stuff that you don't get anywhere else in the Middle East. And for some reason, everybody fucking hates them, and like they keep, and all the countries round about keep trying to wipe it off the map. So, man, you won't let the Jews have one tiny little shitty bit of sand. Like the whole of the Middle East is shitty sand owned by it's all these like Muslim countries, dictatorships, horrible barbaric military oppressive regimes. You won't let Israel have one tiny little shitty bit of sand. Fuck me. Just let them have it.
Leo, are you saying that there is? Yeah. Okay, Darius, you reply.
Okay, have you finished now, Leo? Got anything else you want to say?
Yeah, you're gonna say open as Palestinian land, like bullshit.
Say everything you want to say, and then I'll retort.
Go ahead, Darius, man. Hurry up.
Okay. To answer your things, first of all, the second largest Jewish population in the Middle East is in Iran. They're very well entwined. They've been offered to go back to Israel. They don't want to go to Israel because they're Iranian Jews and they don't like Israel. They like Iran because they're Iranian. Saying, but there's a whole Arab world. Why can't they just go to any other Arab countries? Like saying to a European, you're French, but you're European. Why don't you go live in fucking Spain? First and finally, Palestine was an established country. It wasn't just a shitty piece of sand with nothing there.
It was British Palestine. It was called British Palestine.
Well, I know for a fact that British Palestine is very close to London. It's very close to So this is the whole point of this is. Well, the whole point is it was established on a country that was already there. The fact that the British were there is the reason why there's fucking still sectarian wars going on today. Because in Iraq, in Iran, in the Kuwait, because they just brought arbitrarily lines in a map, right? Regarding Israel, Palestine was an established country.
Countries are arbitrary lines in a map.
No, they're not, because it divides cultures, it divides groups, it divides people.
No, they're arbitrary lines. You think there's any difference? You cross the line at Scotland to England and it suddenly changes? No.
So open. Are you saying open? Are you saying open borders? Then we should have open borders.
That's good. Leo's pro-immigration now. I like that, Leo.
Anyway, guys, I feel if we spend
I've always been pro-immigration. I'm pro-immigration. What the fuck? I voted Remain. I'm pro. I think we should have open borders to a certain extent. There's got to be rules.
Right, guys. From one chat about calling people racists. Let's segue into another lady who's being accused of racism. A lady from Birmingham. Shall I just play the video? Oh!
Oh!
So
just want to say, Mooch, you preceded this. You said She's been accused. At the moment, it's only an accusation of racism, right? There's no, just purely an accusation.
Well, listen, guys. Before we condemn her, let's see what she has to say, because she's come out with this statement, which I think does admonish her of all racism. I'm not racist. I have several black workers and have even dated black men in the past.
Black co-workers.
Co-workers. I can't see it because it says, because it's got the volume thing over it. Yeah. I've even dated black men in the past, so I'm far from racist. So you guys do not know me in real life, so you cannot judge me. So I put that to you, Nico, Darius and Leo. Do you know her in real life? Can you judge her? She's already apologized personally to the bouncer.
She didn't even say I got black friends. She said I got black co-workers.
I have to stand near them.
This is the worst apology or PR statement ever.
Yeah.
She goes on to say, I already apologized personally to the bouncer, but he does not want to respond. So what am I supposed to do? You guys think it's so funny to harass somebody on the internet, but you won't be laughing if I took my own life because of this. We're entitled to free speech. She's a free speech advocate. We should be on her side.
I don't think she's the best advocate for free speech I've seen. Trouble is, man, she's obviously thick as fuck. And this is the problem. Like, there's thick people out there. She's like,
you know what it is?
Nasty.
She's thick. She's also fit. So
yes.
She's obviously she's always had her own way, and this guy said no to her. She can't believe it. So all she can do is lash out. Like when fit women are in and they don't get their own way, they can't believe it.
I admire this bouncer's composure though, because certain man would have she'd be looking for her teeth with certain bouncers. Yeah. They would have just gone off on her, mate.
How hot do you have to be? How hot do you have to be to get away with that level of racism? Do you think that's possible these days?
Slightly hotter than her.
Yeah, just a little bit. So, she has been punished. She has been. This was at a Wetherspoons, and Wetherspoons have barred her from all Wetherspoons in Birmingham.
But only in Birmingham,
not Nottingham.
No, just Birmingham. Every Birmingham Wetherspoons, she is not allowed in. She has also been arrested, but we will see what will come of that.
But
did she have a job?
She did have a job. I don't know what it was, but she now has a job.
Her black co-workers are standing by her. So he did work for her.
I imagine
this wasn't like. I'm guessing she wasn't a doctor or something like that. You know, not to stereotype.
Probably a nail technician, I reckon.
I'm looking forward to her OnlyFans coming out.
I love it when women call themselves like nail technicians. It's like, where did you learn that? The Massachusetts Institute of Nail Technology. Like,
they big money in nails, though. Do you know how much?
You're not a technician. You're fucking putting nails on folk.
Do you know how much nails cost?
It doesn't
but that's right, exactly. So that you're not making that much money. It's a high outlay.
No. As in, like, it's bits of plastic. It can't cost that much. But it's 70 quid to get your nails done, 80 quid to get your nails done. And they do it every month.
Really?
Nah, you don't make that. You're not killing it money-wise.
Can I just, and also, just to confirm, even if she was a nail technician, I can confirm that she's not a rich nail technician because she's fighting to get back into her Wetherspoons. That is someone.
She was just trying to.
Money is tight. Yeah. She needs to drink at Wetherspoons, and she can't because she's banned from every single Wetherspoons in Birmingham. But the thing about these bans is, you know, when they say you're banned, they don't work because technically I'm banned from every Tesco's in the UK because I was caught shoplifting when I was about 12, and I went in the next week. They didn't even say shit. And look, I go into Tesco's all the time. I shop there with impunity, imperceptibly.
They're imperceptible.
Do you really shoplift, Darius?
So when I was about from the ages of 10 to 13, every Saturday used to be National Thieving Day. So what we'd do, we'd just go out and we'd go shoplifting and stealing. And it started off with small things, but then it got to the things we were stealing, like video games. We stole a remote control boat from House of Fraser that cost 120
This is doing great for all immigrants out there.
I wasn't an immigrant. I'm born and bred in the UK, baby.
He's homegrown.
And then I'm a homegrown thief, baby. And then I walked into Tesco's and we're just literally walking, take the batteries off the thing and walk out with the batteries. And we did this like twice in one day because we stole a remote control boat and this remote control car. And we just walked in and stole these batteries. And the security guard just put his hands on our shoulders. And he's like, "What are you doing?" And I went, "Oh, excuses. We didn't know it wasn't allowed." We're like, "What? You can't just take free shit from me."
The Israeli excuse.
Yeah. Don't start Leo off again.
Sorry.
Had you gone in there to try and wipe out the shop? You went in to try and drive the shop and all the people into the sea and commit a genocide. They're like, but why are they fighting back? Oh, Israel's fighting back at us.
No.
I knew I shouldn't have fucking said this, but open up this guy.
I'm a victim.
You know what, Leo? You know what? He's totally right but basically, let's put this. It's like me fighting Mike Tyson, and then Mike Tyson just completely beating the shit out of me. Then when then people are like, done enough now.
What did you learn?
No, a few more. Didn't know shit. I'm coming back, baby.
Should we watch John Cena's apology to China?
Yeah. Seems the right point in the podcast to do it.
Yeah. I just want to get off the Israel Palestine thing. I'm just thinking, what other topics have we got?
Well,
do you want to go?
Spacey.
Wait. This has been a very Chinese focused podcast for the detour into Israel. So I think actually at this point, what we should do maybe is we should congratulate the American maths Olympiad team for being the first American team to beat China in 30 years, and they tweeted it. Have you got that picture to celebrate that tweet? Mooch?
What an achievement.
Did you see this, Nico? America won the first maths Olympiad in 30 years. That's an amazing achievement. They beat China. We need to congratulations to the American team. Absolutely donning it there.
That's 2019.
I was at the wrong team.
Don't ruin the joke, Leo. They don't fucking.
But it's funnier when they're actually Chinese. The picture you're looking for, they're all Chinese. I mean, Chinese Americans, obviously, but they're all.
That is the wrong.
Yeah, and there was one ginger guy there.
Yeah,
we should prep the slides before we do this. You know?
Well, we did it for all the other ones. I asked them to send me this one. Is this one? Is this?
I thought. Oh, sorry. To be honest, I thought I'd sent it. All right, well, let's talk about. But we started with John Cena's apology, didn't we?
No, I didn't. The Maths Olympics. Oh, this is a 2015.
I know what Leo wanted to talk about today. He wanted to talk. Well, talking about today, you wanted to talk about yesterday, today, and tomorrow, the new Comedy Central show, and there's been a recent online stir.
I found it.
So it's the lassie who called me racist, got me barred from all the Weatherspoons in Birmingham. I did a lot less. I did precisely fucking nothing. I didn't fight with a bouncer, didn't do anything. She just popped up on Twitter. I never met her, spoken to her or anything. And she's like, "Oh, Leo Kearse is a racist." Ugh. And then all these like moms like Adam Rushton decide to like blacklist me because of it. So that was she called me racist, but she's got a history like pretty much everybody she works with, like Giles Corran, she called him racist, got him into trouble, and now she's like quit this show that she's on because but she was writing it with Sophie Duker's on this show. It's like called Yesterday, Today, and the Day Before. It's like a topical news show. And like they did a joke or a monologue about Israel, and it was like anti-Semitic or something. Well, this is what I've heard from industry people. Obviously, the story is that they said, you know, they basically said they've been silenced and all the rest of it, and that's why it's taken down. But that's why they weren't allowed to do this monologue. I know I made an arse of explaining that, but
no, it's fine.
That was more boring than I thought it was going to be.
Well, why don't you explain it then?
Because I don't want to get involved in this
because he's not racist.
You brought it up.
There's a new variant around. It's called the Thai variant.
The Taiwanese variant? That doesn't exist.
No, the Thai.
COVID.
From Thailand.
Thai, Indian. I'm waiting for the pizza variant, baby. That's my favorite one. We're doing takeouts.
You know, in Scotland, the politicians, the SNP politicians, like refuse to call it Indian variant the Indian variant, or the Thai variant the Thai variant, except when it comes to England. Like there's the Kent variant, and they'll happily like call it the Kent variant or the Essex variant because they hate England.
Yeah.
I prefer
fuck you.
No, I like Kung Flu. I thought that was the best one for it. I thought it was the only one with a little bit of punnery in there, and I think people are getting too sensitive about shit. About it's. We had the Spanish flu. I don't remember Spain kicking up a fuss about that. Maybe they did. I wasn't about for it.
It didn't even start in Spain, though. The funny thing is.
Sorry, the Spanish flu, did it not start in Spain?
No, it just took out a bit more people in Spain, but I think it started in a barracks in America.
So this, okay.
Yeah. But because it did more damage in Spain, they named it the Spanish.
I'm just going to drop something for someone outside. You carry on chatting amongst yourselves.
Yeah, the trouble with variants is like they're named after where they're discovered. So if you've got like really good testing and laboratories and stuff, then you discover the new variants. And then it gets named after where, but that's sort of punishing people for like having all that, having the facilities and having the good testing regime.
Has Mooch got his fucking trousers down? What the hell?
He's wearing leather chaps. Mooch, why have you got your trousers down?
Over this. Mooch, why have you been wanking during the podcast?
Why have you got your trousers down? What the fuck?
Oh no,
why
they're
have you got your
different
trousers
colours.
down?
Oh no, he has got.
Why have you got your trousers down?
Huh?
Mooch, your trousers.
Why have you got your trousers down?
It looks like you've got your trousers down.
No,
you did have them down.
Yeah.
Mooch, you were
Why have your
wanking.
trousers down?
They're loose fitting and they fell when I bent over.
Oh, that's
good excuse.
Oh, doctor, I was changing a light bulb. And
Sorry. Just because I didn't have my balls fondled by a doctor. Right.
Yeah, Leo.
Stop! Why are you objectifying me on this podcast? Only we had your balls up on stage, up on screen a second ago. I'm gonna have to edit that, aren't I? Definitely gonna have to edit that.
What? Just take it out.
No. I'll just put.
Nico, what are you writing? You're doing something.
Sorry.
This is. Oh God. Can we all?
I feel like people haven't brought their A game to this.
Why does every single person in this podcast riddled with ADHD and autism? For fuck, like, can we not just focus 1 hour of focus and try and bring jokes instead of just fucking man? We're just riddled with autism and ADHD, except for Mooch. But, he wanks when the podcast's on. He's got half the trousers. What are you writing, Nico? Tell the class.
He's applying to do another podcast. He's writing an idea for another podcast. He's going.
This is a good. This can be a good podcast. People like it. Few people who listen to it, they do like it. You just got to keep on going. I believe in it.
What else have we got to talk about? Yeah. I think it's been good so far,
Spacey.
like in bits. I think we're going to need to edit down the Israel shouty bit.
And the dick stuff at the beginning.
Yeah, we'll have to put a
I think for the Israel stuff, me and Darius should probably go away and like learn what we're talking about, and then we can come back fully informed.
I think Darius is quite informed, but I also think
more
you're
informed than Darius.
Well, you're not. But the point is, no one actually wants. Listen, when it comes to Palestine, Israel, no one actually wants informed debate about it. They want rage and controversy. That's what we delivered.
I try and avoid information about it, so I can keep that sort of just biased rage going.
Makes sense.
I'm not biased, but I used to do a joke like I was like, man, Palestinians don't hate Jews because they're Jewish. They hate them because they're there. It's not as if Mexico took over Palestine. They'd be like, oh, that's cool. You can take my house, but at least I got tacos, right? The whole situation is polemical.
Well, this is sort of, like the Roman Empire. Everybody's like, the Roman Empire is so barbaric and colonized all these places, but they let people keep their religion, keep their culture and all the rest of it. They had to pay some tax to the Roman Empire. The Roman Empire came in and brought like water, fresh water, sanitation, like roads, all this technological advancements and totally improved places. So, I think, I don't know, I just feel like, Israel would be a great place to live, like a better place to live than Syria. You know what I mean? I've
been to Israel, right? I like Israel. I went to Tel Aviv. I went to Eilat. The women are all fucking fine. The problem one of the countries there, but like you said, it's not going away. It's there. You have to accept the facts on the ground. So the question then is, do you make one super state, which is what I would say, just make one massive Israel, United States of Israel and Palestine, but they don't want to because that wouldn't be a Jewish state. So in that case, you need a viable two-state solution, which means retreat back to the 1967 borders, give the Palestinians autonomy, let them have their own land borders, let them have their own airports, etc., etc. Then, if Palestine does terrorist attacks or starts firing at Israel, you get the UN mandate to take action. So then the Israelis can say, hey, look, we've treated them fairly, and now they're firing. The problem is now, it seems so heavy-handed when the Israelis will come down on because of Sheikh Jarrah, then the Palestinians kick off, and then the actions, it seems one-sided. But I understand from the Israeli point of view, of course, they want to defend their country, they want to protect themselves, but also this latest bout of war had a lot to do with Netanyahu's loose grip on Israeli democracy, and he knows the best way to firm that up is by bombing Palestinians and shoring up that control. That's how I would solve it. They got to retreat back, make two-state solutions, and then if Palestine attacks, then they can say, look, we've given everything. Now look, they don't have a leg to stand on. But the way it is now, they're always going to look bad. It's like if I start off at Mike Tyson and then start punching him continually in the face and then fuck his mum in front of him and then he beats the fuck out of me, people still say, yeah, Mike Tyson should have handled himself better because he's Mike Tyson. That's why. But I try and see it from both sides of view. But
I mean, the trouble with it would be great if the UN could go in and be peacekeepers, but the UN, because it's like all the countries sit on the UN Security Council and loads of countries are anti-Semitic, so they all give. That's why there's so many UN resolutions against Israel, but not against other countries.
Hold on. This is the thing. When the problem is, I agree, there's definitely anti-Semitism against Israel. There's definitely Palestinians or Muslims or whoever or people on the left who are definitely anti-Semitic, but that's not the main. The main cause is people want justice between Israel and Palestine, and other people have hijacked that to be anti-Semitic. But on the other hand, I've seen some evil settler videos of Israelis just saying the nastiest shit about Arabs and Muslims. So there's people on both sides, right? Which for me is like you need to take religion out of this conflict, and it just be this is a territorial dispute between one country and another country.
I mean, there's Israelis, but there's Israelis that are anti-Arab, anti-Muslim, anti-Palestinian stuff. But like in the UK and in America and stuff, you don't see that. That the waves of open sort of Islamophobia tied to this. Like at the pro-Israel march, there weren't these. There wasn't this overt Islamophobia, anti-Arab sentiment. Whereas on the pro-Palestinian march, there was, and I know it's been hijacked by people, but it also seems to be a big part of it, and a big part of. I mean, if you look at Corbyn's Labour and stuff, the whole woke left is very anti-Semitic.
Yeah, but it's because it's so easy, and actually, the worst thing anyone who's pro-Palestinian can do is be anti-Semitic, because then it just anything that comes after it is nullified. It's the absolute worst thing. So these guys driving the cars through thingies, saying what they were saying, being anti-Semitic, doing hate speech, was the worst thing, because then people aren't talking about the Israeli pinpoint missiles raining down on buildings and literally pulling children out of rubble. They're talking about dickheads in a car shouting anti-Semitic shit. It's the worst shit. And I think, I mean, listen, I'm not going to say anti-Semitism is not wrong. It's fucking the worst thing, and I hate it. That's why I said don't conflate the two. But I feel worse for a Palestinian mum who has to pull her kid out of a building than someone who had to film a video of some dickheads in a car. arrest them, put them in prison, make them pay.
Hamas are using children as shields, and they use the media center because Al Jazeera were like, "Oh, we got bombed and stuff." It's like, yeah, but you've got Hamas in the floor below you.
Okay,
you know
but
I mean?
all right, fine. Listen, that's true. That is true. They use them. Fine. You're Israel. You've got one of the largest military budgets in the world. You're the most technical military in the world. You're meant to be the democracy in the Middle East, the only democracy in the Middle East. Fucking go in another way. Send in commandos. Go in like with commandos. Do what you do. Take your billions that you have in military aid. If you want to flush that building out, fucking rain down commandos from the thing on little SWAT wires. Put them in like that. Then the world will say, "Well, why not? They're not the biggest, most military equipped thing." So that's my solution, as opposed to fuck it, bomb them. There's children in that building as well. That's what I would do.
In other news, England rugby star Henry Slade is the first. Have I got that wrong? Is the first high-profile sports player to who says he's not going to have the vaccine.
Why? How old is he?
He's 28.
How obese is he?
He's not obese, but he does have type 1 diabetes, so is a bit more vulnerable. But says he feels he does not agree with it all, which is a valid argument. And it's his body; he can do what he wants with it.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, a lot of people, are like, "Oh, everyone's got to get the vaccine and stuff," but it's like, well, that's like forcing people to not have abortions or whatever. Like people should have autonomy over their own body and choose what to do with it.
I agree 100%. I've had the vaccine. I've had my first jab, but I would never want it to be forced onto anyone else. I think if you make your own informed or uninformed decision, be it on yourself. That's the way it should be. But
which vaccine did you have?
I had the Moderna.
Oh, the posh one.
Do you get to choose?
They let me choose. No, they don't. You don't. You just no. I'm lying. You just get given what you get given. But if you go to the Guy's Hospital one, they were all pumping out the Moderna.
Nico, you're going to get the vaccine.
If they force me to, but not willingly.
But
you're gonna get it
just this week.
You gonna get it, Leo?
The BBC.
Yeah, if they will at some point, because I'll sort of have to do gigs overseas and stuff, so I'll just get it. But I don't want to get the AstraZeneca because it's like blood clots. Like that last night.
But the blood clots only young people.
No, that lady. Lisa Shaw from the BBC presenter, she was 44.
You know what I want to see? You know, this is why people don't trust the vaccines and stuff like that, right? Because the results, people who die from COVID is people who had COVID in the last 28 days. These are the numbers who've died, right? Where's the numbers for people who've had the vaccine who have died in the last 28 days? Because I saw a statistic, and it was more people have died within 28 days of having the vaccine right now than have died with COVID right now. But they don't show that statistic. Yeah. So, I mean...
Well, that's because nobody's dying from COVID right now.
The vaccine isn't contagious as well. I don't know if, if that's something to do with it. Do you know what I mean? You don't have to get the vaccine. Mm. And,
I don't know.
For people aged under 30, they're actually, the risk... They even say, the risk is... they're not recommending the AstraZeneca vaccine for people aged under... I think it's under 30, because the risk of blood clots and stuff actually does become, comparable with the risk of getting the virus. Because the virus is really not deadly. If you're not old and if you're not a fat cunt, then the virus isn't that bad for you. It's mostly just taking out these big fat fucks and people underlying health issues.
Imagine getting the vaccine and imagine you got the vaccine and then you died from it and there was nothing wrong with you. How pissed would
and that's what's happening with some people. Yeah, and also we've had a year and a half of our lives being totally fucked up and not having any freedom and stuff. Like that guy, the first guy who got the vaccine, William Shakespeare, he got it, he was 81 or something. He died. Mooch finds that hilarious for some reason. But
no, I just didn't know.
He was obviously going to die. He was 81. It's pointless.
Yeah. But I mean, like, so he's lost a year and a half of his life where he couldn't, like, you know, do roller derby and, like, you know, go to nightclubs and stuff.
Yeah,
and
it's
like
a shame.
so he's just been, you know, stuck inside, not doing it. And then, like, he gets the vaccine, and, you know, 6 months, because he's old, and that's when you're old, you eventually die, and that's just what happens. So I mean, I think we've got to balance, like, losing all our freedom and all that sort of stuff, and having a quality of life as well as a sort of length of life. Because if we're just losing all our freedoms to extend our life by like 6 months, man, what's the point? I'd rather enjoy myself while I'm here.
Yeah.
Can I just say, regarding the vaccine, I was gigging through the height of, like, the pandemic. Like, I was at Vauxhall Comedy Club where social distancing was
upkept.
Obeyed at first.
Upkept to the highest degree.
But then it somewhat went a shambles. I was doing gigs at Top Secret where, you know,
this bit's getting cut out.
But eventually it was
Darius, shut your mouth, man. Nah.
No, it was adhered
nothing
to.
About Top Secret is great. Socially distanced. We have hand sanitizer. We have Perspex. We wash everyone's hands in the interval.
Hold on.
They hose people down.
Yeah. So
everyone gets the vaccine, as you get a free vaccine with every ticket.
But my point is, if I was safe at that point and I didn't contract it, why would I get the vaccine now when half the country doesn't have it? They've all been vaccinated and there's less chance of getting it than there was then. What's the point?
Yeah.
That being said, I've had it, but that's the argument.
But
what you had the vaccine, Darius?
Yeah, I had the vaccine. I had it, man. I had it ages ago. Pfizer.
Is that because Ailsa's dad's a doctor? Do you get it through that?
Yeah, I didn't really have it. I'm just saying it.
Did you have it or did you not have it?
You'll never know.
Well,
that's just the way I wanted it to be, baby. Huh? Listen, I just when you think you got the answers, I change the questions. I haven't had it. I have had it. I had Pfizer, AstraZeneca, Moderna. It was great.
This is like when you remember there's some guys who got in the news that they were handing out fat shaming cards in the tube. They were going up to fat people and, like, give them these cards and say, and the cards said you should lose weight because you're fat or something like that. And so, like, this is people were sharing it on Facebook saying, "Oh, this is terrible." So me and Darius were like, "Yeah, that was us," and it wasn't us. We just said, "Yeah, that was us," because I don't even know why, just because we thought it was funny. And then it totally caught on that it was us, and then everybody's like slamming us. And I was getting phone calls from, like, Sky News and stuff, so you can come on and talk about fat shaming. So then, like, we went on Facebook, we're like, "No, it wasn't us. It wasn't us." And then Darius just wrote underneath, "It was us, really."
It was so funny.
You guys are just mental.
Anyway, vaccines are, you know, fuck it. I wouldn't, if I was 40, I definitely wouldn't be getting AstraZeneca, man. She was.
You're 40.
The vaccine, and actually, don't be offensive. There's no need for that. There's no need for listen. There's no need for any of this abuse, right? Come on, we had a lovely discussion about Israel and Palestine, and now you've resorted to slinging these just
wild accusations that are untrue.
Wild accusations, untrue, unspeculated, and just.
Would a 40-year-old man have a Wall-E mannequin on his shelf?
Yeah, would he? Would he have a Super Mario thing as well? Would he have that? Would he? No.
Would he have a poster that says, what is Isla Slubar? What does that say? What is that?
Isla Nublar. It's from Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
I can't see because yeah. You can't. It just looks like a black thing.
What was it in Jurassic Park? Is that the actual island that they're on?
It's the island. If I could zone out, you'll see it's got, like, the mountains and stuff at the top.
Right.
It's quite cool, actually.
Would a 40-year-old man have a poster from a 90s film on his... Yeah, actually, that's something I think a 40-year-old man probably
exactly would a 40...
Yeah.
That's about right, that ring.
Right.
Yeah.
Holy shit, how can I be 40? That can't be right. Nico, how old are you?
Any more topics?
No, I want to know how old you are, Nico.
We've been going about an hour, by the way, lads, and I'm going to need to...
wrap this up.
should we talk about Kevin Spacey before we go?
Kevin Spacey is apparently not a nonce, but is playing a nonce.
Yeah, he's a nonce. He's a full-on nonce. It was
like
proven on Twitter. Enough people tweeted, and it made it true.
But now, he's playing a nonce, which should be. I mean, he's a great actor. I think no one can deny that. So I'm sure this role.
Everybody says that, but he's not that great. And also, acting's easy. You just say the words, and that's it, pretty much.
You're breaking my balls. What was your bit from the?
You're killing me, man.
You're killing me, man.
You gotta throw the fight, man. You're killing me, man.
Throw the fight, man.
Video. Leo, share the video if you've got it.
Acting's easy.
Acting is easy. It's cake. It's the easiest job in the world, man.
Yeah.
I can't wait for Kevin Spacey's a Christmas message this year. Like, so I don't know.
He did a really weird cryptic thing.
Well, his YouTube is amazing. Like, it's and I don't know if you've seen it. Let me be frank. Is this it? Where every year he. Oh, hang on.
So we should just say what we're talking about with the Kevin Spacey. So he's coming back to make this film. Is it an Italian film? It's called L'Uomo de something. What's it called? L'Uomo che disegno Dio. I'm assuming it's like Italian or something. And so he's playing a disgraced paedophile, and it's a low-budget indie film. It's the rise and fall of a. It sounds terrible. It's the rise and fall of a blind artist who has the extraordinary gift of making true-to-life portraits just by listening to human voices. I mean, that's obviously bullshit. How would that even be possible? But it's not even his first film since.
So there's nothing about him being a pedophile in the film, then. That was all.
Well, it doesn't say it, but I thought it was. Oh yeah, so he's playing a sex abuse investigator in the film.
Oh, okay, yeah. No, but he's been accused of it apparently in
the film.
In the film. But what's amazing is these videos that he releases at Christmas every year have foretold. So his first one was "Let Me Be Frank," which he did in the style of what was that? What was the series that he did?
House of Cards.
The House of Cards style, yeah. And then he released another one, which was titled "Kill 'Em with Kindness," and all of a sudden, some of the accusers of Kevin Spacey started dying. And then 5 months ago, he released 1-800-Xmas, which basically he's kind of just admitting. I don't know if this is just some massive like prank or something like this, but he's just talking about all of his accusers dying, and then suddenly they're dying, and it's just too freaky to me.
Well, he was an incredibly powerful person in Hollywood. I mean, the amount of money and power that Kevin Spacey had, and apparently there's a cabal of powerful Hollywood people who abused sort of young men and young people entering the film industry. I heard about it too late, so I couldn't get in there and suck his dick and get famous. But apparently some other actors, you're killing me, man, because I'm an actor. Other actors did.
That guy
I don't want to name names.
Used to talk about it. That guy Corey Feldman or something.
Oh yeah, he's crazy.
Yeah. No, he's not crazy.
No, he is crazy.
A lot of the stuff he says actually.
No. I'm not saying that, but he's also crazy. I've seen him on a lot of reality TV shows. He's insane. I'm not saying that what he's saying and he hasn't been.
Discredit him, man.
I'm not discrediting him. It's there for you to see. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's the reality TV
all
shows.
His claims are backed up.
I'm not discrediting. I'm not saying that
a lot of them died. A lot of the victims died drug overdoses or suicide or in mysterious circumstances, some of Kevin Spacey's accusers seem to be doing. I mean, he's like Putin. He's like Putin taking out all the former oligarchs. Like they're found in a big house in Surrey, having hanged themselves in the closet.
So there was another Corey. It was Corey Feldman, and there was
Corey Haim.
Corey Haim. And
Corey Hotline.
and basically Corey Feldman, in his big reveal, the way he phrased it was Corey allowed himself to be sodomized, and that's the phrasing he used for his friend Corey Haim being raped, which was I don't know if that's the right phrasing for it, and it's kind of he's a very narcissistic guy, and it's always he's a weird guy, but again, I suppose if you've been abused, maybe that's what happens.
Name an actor who isn't narcissistic.
Leo Kearse.
Leo Kearse. You're killing me, man.
All right, this was a great one. One for the books.
There were
I've done proper acting. I played Mick Fleetwood. John, you've got to tell me what's happening. What's the problem playing these parts?
John, you've got to tell me what's happening. What's the problem playing these parts?
And that's why I got the better, and Nico didn't. No, I got the accent.
I was better. On. That was
John,
my first
you've got
try.
to tell me what's happening.
Was that you being slow or your internet?
That's me being slow to actually act. John, you've got to tell me what's happening. I'm too big for these parts, or whatever the line was. I can't remember.
John, you've got to tell me what's happening. What's the problem playing these parts?
Sorry, I'm just playing sound effects now. Should we wrap it up? Should we say goodbye and edit this down to 45 minutes?
Subscribe.
Start again.
20 minutes.
Wait. Go.
Like and subscribe. It helps. We're up to 117.
19.
Please leave a comment. Whoa. 119. We're growing steadily. I've been Darius. He's been Leo. He's been Nico. He's been Mooch.